Hi everyone, I'm Simon from Sterling Coaching, and this, I promise, is the final time that I will hijack my Monday's Moment video to talk about the fundraising event that I'm doing at the end of October, 31st of October, for Sense, the charity for deaf blind children. See you in a second. Now, you all know that I share insights on my Monday's Moment video, and throughout the last couple of weeks and for the next couple of weeks I'm also going to be sharing insights throughout the week that arise from having organised and set up and trained and prepared for the fundraising event, which you can see across here, the ticker, if you want to give any support to that. And today is no exception. I want to share an insight that I learned over the weekend, and this morning I did some different exercise. I decided to get off of the bike and do some more gym work, and it reminded me over the weekend and of today when I went back into the gym and did some workout that I've not done for quite a while, of this formula that success equals determination and persistent and consistent action. So, when it looks at the success that we get, what I very often see from people who complain that they don't get the success is that they actually aren't consistent. They have the determination, but they lack consistency. And usually they lack consistency because they're not persistent in the actions. And I share this in the middle of the screen there because this slide here, and I don't know if I can make it actually bigger. Let me see if I can make that bigger. Just temporary. There we go. In finance, there is a process called compounding. That if we earn a little bit of money and we leave it where it is, it will earn interest, and then it will earn interest on that amount and interest on the interest that it's earned. And then it builds and builds and builds as compounding. And I just want to remind you of something that I share in my strategy sessions when I'm talking to people about the importance of consistency. And that is the same whether it's our business plans, whether it's something like the event that I'm doing. We have to be persistent. We have to have that determination, and then we have to be consistent. So we're going to play a round of golf. And on that round of golf, whether it's 10 cents, 10 pence, whatever it is in your currency, we're going to have a wager per hole. But what we're going to do, as you can see here on screen, we're going to double it on each hole. So hole number 1 we're going to play is 10 pence. Hole number 2 is 20 pence. Hole number 3 is 40 pence, and we're doubling it and so on. Now I've put a question mark against hole number 9 because after playing half of the game, you're at £25.60. Now don't get me wrong, that is a long way from 10 pence. But the reason I put the question mark there is that a lot of people then think, oh, all I've got is £25.60. I've put half of the game in and that's all I've got. And what they do is, because they can only see the next hole as £51.20, they do what I call pitch and putt. They leave the 9 holes and they go off and they try another course because they think it's the course that's the issue. It's what they're doing that is wrong, rather than that consistency. Because what they don't see is if they kept going and got to hole 15, just a few more extra holes, it goes to £1,638.40. That's right, £1,638.40. Now, there's a reason that I've separated out the last 3 holes. Because what I hear a lot of people do is, when we talk about success and getting started, what a lot of them will do is they will say, well, that's okay, but I'll start in a few months' time. I've got a few things to sort out first. And what they do is they miss the first 3 holes. So if you play 9 holes, you're only going to get £25.60. If you play 15 holes because you start late, great. You're going to be very successful and you're going to get £1,638.40. But if you decide to do something and you have the determination and the persistence to do it now and then be consistent, and you play the full 18 holes, you get £13,107.20 as the winning wager on hole number 18. So I don't know about you, but that would be a good reason for me to start now and to be consistent and not keep trying different things. To be consistent in my action, to be persistent and determined in the way that I'm doing it, and play all 18 holes to the best of my ability. If you do that in your business, if you do that with your business plans, you do that with your finances, if you've got a financial advisor, talk to them about this. Putting small amounts away and just increasing it bit by bit can make a massive difference. And if you do it like I'm doing it for the event, if you're doing it for the event, then that can make such a difference. And here is a young lad who inspired over 80,000 people to learn sign language in lockdown. Okay, and he came back and he did it in a different format. He didn't do that just by giving it a go and then saying, oh, not many people have signed up, I won't bother, or playing the first 9 holes. He did something straight away. They started it quickly, and 80,000 Brits, 80,000 of us here in the UK and in Great Britain learned sign language in some form, including me, in lockdown. And you can check out that there, facebook.com/Sense Charity. You can find all of the stuff like that on there. But I think what we see is, if we want to hit our targets, what do we do? If I'm going to do 8 hours in the saddle during networking and client sessions, do I wait a little longer and don't spend the full month training, exercising? If I want to hit the £1,000 target, do I just start talking about it nearer the date? No, I've been talking about it for the last week or so, because it's important to start now, and it's important to keep doing that action. It's important for me to do something each and every day. It's important not to, you don't run a marathon by deciding nearer to the marathon that you're going to do it, and then you go out and you do a couple of runs and you try running 13 miles a time. You don't. You do small increments and you build on those increments until you get to the 26 mile, and the fact that the 26 mile is easier than it was when you first did the 26 mile. We do that by being consistent and persistent in our actions. Now, in everything that Sense do, they don't just look for financial support. They lobby government. They do other things to support other charities. They do so much which is consistent action. You will see them post you. If you go on their email list, you won't get bombarded and spammed, but you'll get consistently good content. And I want to do the same and support them. They also, as you saw with that gentleman earlier on, they don't just sit and wait. They get out there. They give something back. They do events. They've got their shops. You know, this guy did the sign language training in a really innovative way, a very engaging way, because it's important to take action. Success comes from that action. Success comes from that determination and persistent and consistent action. So when you're looking at your own business, when you're looking at what you need to do in the next week, just take a few minutes today, Monday as this is going live, or whatever day you're watching this on if you're not watching the live version. Just consider, what could I be more consistent? What is not working as well as it should do because I'm not being consistent? And then think about that game of golf. Set yourself 18 holes of consistency, a 30-day social media content plan, a 10-day sprint to get a particular project over the line, but then do something consistently. Make sure you're persistent and you're determined and you get it done. And of course, if you want to support me in my persistent and consistent action to get that target, that absolute fantastic target of £1,000 plus, that would be great if you would just go to the Just Giving page that's going across the bottom. If you're watching it on video, you can stop it now. If it's live, I don't know whether you can or not, but you can just go into Just Giving and just search Simon Meadows and you'll find me there on the Just Giving page. Whether you give £5 or whether you can give a lot more, everything will be gratefully received and faithfully applied to the charity that I'm raising money for. So please support me, but support yourselves and take something from this insight and look at that formula and be consistent in your actions and analyze where you're not being consistent enough or whether you could be consistent more. And then go out, schedule a plan, be determined and be consistent and take that action. Hopefully this is giving you something to take away from this week's Monday's Moment, and next week we'll be back to the usual format, but look out for the posts and the videos during the week on all the platforms that talk about the event and how you can support me and some of the other insights that I'm learning from that as well. And I will see you on the next Monday's Moment. Bye for now.